Hey guys, Station X here, and welcome to Video Game Pickups 11. Now, this video I've been trying to make for a while now, and has been scrapped so many times. Basically, a while ago, I had a huge pile of Wii games, as you could see here. Now, this pile is kind of mixed and matched, because I didn't want to just include a bunch of, like, shovelware things, just kind of boring nonsense, because it was a lot. It was a lot to go through. It would have been, like, easily 3 different parts if I was going to do every single game I got. So what I did was I tried to get like kind of like the best from that pile, but there still might be some that are a little kind of like shovelware-ish, like, you know, Deal or No Deal or Sing It. Although some of these do have a significance, like there's that Sing It's Sealed, so that's kind of why I included it. Same thing with this Just Dance 2, but basically, I just kind of wanted to do an episode where it was just Wii games because of the amount of Wii games that I got. But without further ado, let's just jump right into it. With our first game is Animal Kingdom Wildlife Expedition. Now, I thought this was kind of unique just because of the spine alone. It does kind of look different compared to everything else, so that was nice. And yeah, it's just kind of like a wildlife game. I think it's a kid's game because it's just like, it looks like it, definitely. But another one here is Boom Blocks, another kind of shovelware game. Yeah, there's not much to really say about that. This next one, Cabela's Big Game Hunter, actually is a significant game on here because I feel like light gun games kind of worked the best on Wii or Kinect, kind of, just because it fits that kind of environment, you know, just having like when you go in the arcade, you have like these guns that are connected through like a wire or whatever, and you can just kind of shoot whatever. And those kind of games don't really, you know, get made all too much for home console just because of the fact that you're using a controller for the most part, and that kind of game works best with like a plastic weapon. And so therefore, you know, I think games like this do really well. Basically, you know, like using the Wii remote, that's just basically like a light gun right there. You just need the little plastic bits, which I think they did sell separately, and here you're just hunting animals and the good old outdoors, you know. So this was pretty cool. I mean, you find games like this in the arcade all the time, so I thought it was a nice addition to the collection. But here we have some Call of Duty games, specifically Modern Warfare Reflex Edition and Call of Duty World at War. I kind of find this one funny because it drops the 4 on here. They call it Reflex Edition, giving it an extra subtitle. And technically, this came out when Modern Warfare 2 was releasing. So, like, because I think their first one was Call of Duty 3, and then they skipped this game and went straight to World at War. And then what would have been Modern Warfare 2 if they had continued the thing, they just said, screw it, let's do Modern Warfare. And then they went with Black Ops and then Modern Warfare 3. So Modern Warfare 2 actually got skipped in favor of the first one. And then World at War came out right after it. And what's funny also is just, you know, on the other versions, these are considered kind of like the exact same game, just one's like modern and the other one's World War II. And I gotta say, like, these two are some of my favorites personally, obviously on the other systems. Here, though, it's like, it is what it is. I mean, like, it's there's not much you could really do with Wii controls, and I mean, you're not allowed to use that classic controller. So you're strictly, you know, just using the Wii remotes. And some may say, well, it's more accurate, you know, because you're using the Wii pointer and stuff, kind of like having a mouse. It's just not like, the Wii is just not that sophisticated, you know. Even if you're using the Wii Motion Plus, I feel like it's just not as, it's not as good as like the Resident Evil Wii version, you know, like that had some significance. Moving on to the next game, we got Cookin' Mama Cook-Off, which I believe I have like I have some DS versions of this, but this was another one. This one got really messed up on the front cover, so I'm gonna see if I can replace that. And the back too, yeah, someone like really punched a hole through it. Yeah, I remember replacing the case for this because the original case had this damage on it, and it was just kind of unusable. But it's a game that's on the Wii, so I gotta get it, you know. Like, I actually, quite a few of these I've gotten for free. The only ones I really paid for are like the ones that are like the Pokemon, the Kirby, the Just Dance and stuff like that, etc, etc. But let's put that one aside and we'll talk about the Blob, which that's another one I got on the DS. So it was the Blob 2, but this is another one that I always would see on the Wii library, and would just always see in like Walmart, Target, in that shovelware section made by THQ, which was kind of like the king at the time of making random things for the Wii. So the Blob, there you go. Now this one, while has no significance to the Wii itself, it has significance to me because, again, it's another counterpart on the DS, and that I played for hours. And I was like, when I saw this on the Wii, I was very curious if it played the same, which, basing it off the back of it, it does not. You can actually use your Mii's, it looks like, so I mean, that's kind of cool. So, but I mean, it's deal or no deal. If you like the show, most likely it plays similarly. I haven't actually tried it yet, but I got this game purely just because I kind of like the show, and I loved the DS game when I was a kid. So, I mean, there you go. Here we have Game Party, pretty much a knockoff Wii Sports, because during that era of the Wii, people just were so enamored with Wii Sports. Every kind of company was trying to get their hands on that success, and this was one of them. They actually made up to 3 games, I think, possibly more, but I just know of Game Party 2 and 3. I just wasn't able to snag those, but I got the first one, and so that's all that really matters, I guess. But moving on to this one, we have Geometry Wars Galaxies. Now this just had a really nice, unique looking cover, and the spine's unique too. With some of these, as you could see, most of the time you just get like the logo on a white background, but here you had like kind of like a 360 style spine, and so that was really cool. And it's actually made by Sierra Online, which is like the publishers that they kind of like worked with Valve a bit, got Valve going, and so that's really cool. But yeah, Geometry Wars, I just really liked the cover of this. And so moving on to Ghost Squad, this is kind of like a military shooter published by Sega. And so yeah, it's kind of like one of those like, that is a panda suit in there. Looks like they had some wackiness to it. Aim, shoot, duck, reload. Yeah, I guess I really don't know too much about this. It does have Nintendo Wi-Fi connection support, so I guess that's cool. But one of the more, again, famous things about the Wii, Guitar Hero. Now, I know a lot of people will have memories of Guitar Hero on PS2 on that era, but I mean, I always known Guitar Hero on the Wii, and that was just kind of like where I think it got a lot of popularity on. But of course now there's I think Clone Hero, which is on the PC. It has like a bunch of features from the Guitar Hero series and stuff. So this one's World Tour, and I actually, again, have something similar to this on the DS. I almost forgot it for a second, but it was kind of like this DS peripheral that you would use. But I actually have some of the guitars now for that, but not for Wii. It's for PS3. But moving on, we got Family Game Night. Now this is kind of, again, similar to the Game Party thing, where it's a little bit of a knockoff, but unlike Game Party, this one just kind of takes classic board games and puts them on the Wii. And of course you got Mr. Potato Head kind of hosting it, which I always thought was kind of weird, but it's if you really like Hasbro stuff, I mean, there you go. And here we got a Tom Clancy game. It's kind of a, fairly unknown and underrated, like Hawks 2. Most people, when they hear of Tom Clancy, they think of Rainbow Six and Splinter Cell and stuff. But this is one of those like games that not many people talk about under the Tom Clancy series. And so, yeah, you kind of like, based off the back, because I haven't played this myself personally. You play as like a fighter pilot, so, or just you're flying an aircraft. But yeah, that's kind of cool, because a lot of games don't really, there's not a lot of games that specific on this area. It's more so like Kind of like how Call of Duty does like the one mission and that's it. Same thing with Battlefield and so on. So it's kind of cool to have a game dedicated towards that. And then here we got some Just Dance games. Let's just move this over a bit. So here we got some Just Dance games. Now, of course, Just Dance 2 is sealed here. I actually already owned this game, if I'm going to be honest. But it's just, now I have a sealed copy, which was nice. I actually got this one for free as well. It's got a little bit of a ding right there, but I mean, you know, it's not too bad a condition for what it is. And this was like the second one they've ever done, man. It was like right before they really start pumping these out. And who knew this was going to be such a big phenomenon, especially on the Wii. And I went from the second one that they ever did to the last one that they ever did on the Wii. Because this was the, like, for the longest time, they would always release these Just Dance games. And 2019, because they kind of did it a little bit ahead, I believe. It's either 2019 or 2020 when they released, like, one of the last few Wii games. I think, quite honestly, this is the last Wii game they've ever done. So, yeah, it's got Ariana Grande, it's got the Old Town Road by Billy Ray Cyrus and Lil Nas, and yeah, Billie Eilish, all those, you know, all the more modern singers now. So it's just like, it's just kind of cool. But moving on to what I really wanted to get to in this collection here is the Kirby games. These were actually recent. These were just added to my pile. Like, this whole thing has been going through like rotations of games that I wanted to throw in here, not wanted to, like, it's like there's a bunch of sports games that I got, and I know most people don't really care about them, and so these were recent additions, like fairly recent. These were the last two to make it in the cut. But Kirby's Return to Dreamland, which was the main Kirby game for the Wii, and Kirby's 20th anniversary got celebrated with this really nice collector's edition. Now, I don't own like the whole package, like the whole collector's box and stuff, but for the most part, I'm pretty sure this is pretty complete. It's got the manual and other stuff you get in the Wii games. You get the game itself and the nice CD soundtrack. So that's pretty cool. And then, of course, you got, I had to get this one as well. And it's funny because they're actually doing a deluxe version of this on the Switch, which is kind of fun. You know, like, it was funny because, like, Sonic had just done their Wii game on the Switch as well, or in the Xbox and PlayStation. But now Kirby's getting that same kind of treatment. They stopped doing Wii U games, and now they're moving to Wii games. So, can't wait for that. And then here we got some Lego games. We got the first Lego Batman. Never owned this. I always played this at friends' house and stuff, and I had some of the other ones, but never owned the first Lego Batman. And then we have Indiana Jones 2. The adventure continues. Again, this one I actually never played, period. And that's one of the collector goals I had in mind, was to try to get all of the Lego games, at least a copy of them, like a legit copy, not like the DS ones, but a legit copy of every like Lego game they've ever done. And so, yeah, I mean, like, the Lego games I've always been a fan. I've always been a fan of them. I always enjoyed them. They were always such a good time. And even like the ones that were not so hot, I really enjoyed as well. Here we have Michael Jackson, The Experience, which has some of his, like, has a lot of his classic songs on here, and it's basically just a Just Dance clone. They did a couple of these as well. I think they did like a Black Eyed Peas one as well. But here you got a lot of his classic songs with the main dancer wearing the famous outfit of each song. And yeah, it's just basically Just Dance with Michael Jackson in it. And again, different spine as well. So that's always very unique. And the same thing with the Lego Indiana Jones. I thought that was kind of interesting that they did that, because it's also with LucasArts, which, you know, usually it's Star Wars games that get that treatment. But yeah, not a lot of Wii games did that, but quite a few did. And here we have a Sims games, My Sims Agents. I really don't have a lot to say about this because I don't play Sims all too much. You know, I just played like the regular ones, but yeah, it's just kind of like a spin-off, and that's all I gotta say about that. And we got Pirate Blast, another just kind of, you know, shovelware game in there, and it's compatible with the Wii Zapper, which I always find funny because, you know, it's plastic. So, I mean, I mean, I guess you could say it's best used with the Wii Zapper. I think that's like a more appropriate advertisement. But yeah, like, it's a pirate game. It's a pirate game on the Wii. So, here we have Pokey Park, the Wii Pikachu's Adventure. So, this one I thought was very interesting looking, especially since just the kind of like the spine of it, the front cover, and of course it's a Pokemon game. I've been trying to collect a lot of the Pokemon games. In fact, recently I just got a whole bunch for the DS and 3DS, so I can't wait to talk about that in the next video game pickups. But this one, I think as well, is pretty complete in box. Well, it actually doesn't have all the extra nonsense, but it does have the Wii, the manual for this game, which is, I think, the most important thing. I could always find that other stuff, but which is a very, very big manual, by the way, too. Like, that's a pretty thick boy. So I mean, that's pretty interesting. Never actually played this. I don't know what this is about per se, other than you just kind of going around the Poke Park, and that's about it. But yeah, and get through these last few very quickly, just because they're kind of shovelware-ish. The Rabbids games, you know, they're Rabbids games. I really can't say more than that. I don't play the Rabbids games, although the only Rabbids games I played was the Mario and Rabbids, or Mario Plus Rabbids, which they're making a new one now, which is kind of interesting. And now we have Disney Sing It High School Musical 3. This is sealed. This is the other sealed game that I was talking about. And yeah, this one I was able to get in that pile of Wii games for free, which was very nice. And yeah, it also, I think you do need that accessory, that microphone. And then what is this? Child Admission of this is the Hannah Montana movie. I guess there's a free ticket inside, but you know, it is it's expired, of course. So that's kind of funny. Yeah, and it says microphone required. I don't have the microphone, and I refuse to care. And so here we have Skylanders Swap Force, of course, the Wii Berry, infamously famous for Skylanders as well. Kind of like the last kind of gimmick things that the Wii was known for was these Toys to Life stuff. I think it kind of fit best on the Wii, because the Wii was just all sorts of gimmicks kind of thrown into that thing, all sorts of accessories. People were kind of used to that if you were a big fan of the Wii. So I think this kind of fit perfectly on there. And so yeah. And then we have the Tony Hawk games, Tony Hawk Ride and Tony Hawk Shred. I played the original ones. I haven't played these spin-off ones, but I played like the original ones, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those were kind of like my favorites, the PS1 and 2 era. But these ones, I mean, they're not too different, although use this kind of skateboard accessory. It's again a game that I need an accessory for, and I refuse to buy. So just one of those things to complete the games. Now the last two that I saved for last, Wii Music. I've always tried to track this thing down because I think I have now all of the games that are, like in the Wii series, like the Wii Play, Wii Motion, Wii Music, all that. I believe I do have all of them now. I don't know if there's some I'm missing. I know there's the chess one, but that's not North American. So as far as like North American region, I think I have all of them, but I gotta double check that. Of course, I think I might want to try to get a better one, because I mean on the camera it actually looks a lot better, but in person this music part's really faded, so I don't know why. But yeah, I mean, like, this cover's really pretty, and while I know it didn't do very well, it's a very nice looking game. So I mean, in stores I feel like kids would probably see this and go, wow, that looks really cool. So at least I would have back in the day. I actually never saw this in the stores, which is kind of funny. And the last, but certainly not least, Wii Sports physically. Now, of course, the cover's got a little stain right here, which kind of sucks. But I mean, hey, this thing is kind of hard to find, because most of the time you find Wii Sports in that little sleeve it comes in with the actual thing, the system. But they did a Nintendo Selects version of this with an actual case. What's funny is that I actually had made my own homemade case. Now, the ink didn't do a good job printing the logo out. It actually kind of shows up a lot better on camera, but it's very faded on here. And yeah, you can kind of see where it made a mistake. But yeah, obviously I do kind of like this plain white kind of deal. I kind of wish they did that. That would have been nice. But I got this from the cover project, so one day I would love to redo this, because while I'll definitely use this as the stand-in, I just really like how that looks too. Plus it doesn't have this red border thing. That's kind of the only sacrifice I have to make here. But yeah, like, that looks nice. I like this addition to it. And yeah, I mean, I think obviously this does a better job. But yeah, it's got all the things there. I even put the original manual along with they actually printed like a full-size manual with it. And yeah, it was just really cool. And what's funny is that actually this thing didn't even come with a game. I just took my copy and threw it in here. Like, this is the original copy I got with my Wii. And so this one I had to kind of I just ended up, you know, taking the case instead of the whole game. I got the case for free, which is really cool. And I mean, this is really shiny on here too. I do like the little aesthetic it has. I just really wish they did like a regular case for this. I know there's at least one Wii game that just actually has no regular case whatsoever. I would have to print like a custom case like this. And I think that's Link's crossbow training. I'm not too sure if that has a regular case. You guys in the comments can please let me know if I'm making a mistake there. But that'll be it for today. Let me know what you guys think. Do you like the Wii? Do you think it was a good system? What's your favorite game on the Wii? Let me know in the comments below. I've been Station X. I hope you guys have a wonderful day.